When I first married David, I thought my life was finally falling into place. I was 39, a single mother of one daughter, and he was a widower raising his 21-year-old son, Jason. Blending families is never easy, but I believed that with patience, honesty, and love, we could build something whole out of two broken pieces. David was kind, steady, and hardworking, and Jason, while quiet and a little distant, seemed respectful enough. I tried my best to make him feel comfortable, giving him space while offering kindness when I could. We weren't close, but we lived in harmony, and that felt like a victory. What I didn't know was that behind his polite nods and vague answers, Jason was hiding a side of his life that none of us could have imagined. It was a side that, once revealed, would change how I saw him, how his father saw him, and even how we all saw each other. It began one ordinary evening, a Thursday in early spring. I had just finished cleaning up the kitchen when I noticed Jason had left his phone on the dining table. He rarely went anywhere without it. Out of habit, I picked it up, ready to place it on the counter where he usually kept his things. That's when a notification lit up the screen. A message preview read, "I can't wait to see you again tonight. Same place." At first, I brushed it off. Young adults dated, and it wasn't unusual for Jason to keep his personal life private. But the wording felt more serious, almost secretive. My curiosity tugged at me, though I knew better than to pry. Respecting boundaries was important, and I didn't want to invade his privacy. Still, something about that message stayed with me. Later that night, when Jason said he was going to the library to study, a small alarm went off in my head. I didn't want to be suspicious. I wanted to trust him, but something just didn't add up. I didn't say anything to David, not wanting to sound like an overprotective stepmother. But when Jason started leaving almost every night around the same time with vague excuses, I couldn't ignore the pattern anymore. One night, unable to resist, I casually asked David if Jason had mentioned a girlfriend. David looked surprised and shook his head. "No, he hasn't said anything. You know Jason, he keeps to himself. But if he's seeing someone, good for him." I wanted to agree, but the secrecy didn't feel like something to celebrate. There was a heaviness in my gut, a whisper telling me something wasn't right. And as it turned out, that whisper was only the beginning. The truth revealed itself by accident. A week later, I had to drop off some papers for David at his office downtown. On my way back, I spotted Jason's car parked outside a small cafe, not anywhere near the library he claimed to be visiting. I almost drove past, telling myself it wasn't my place to snoop. But then I caught sight of him through the cafe's window. He wasn't alone. Sitting across from him was a woman, older, glamorous, laughing as she leaned in close. My heart skipped. She wasn't a college student like I expected. She looked like she could have been my age, maybe even a little older. The way Jason smiled at her, the way he touched her hand across the table, it was unmistakable. This wasn't a casual friendship or a tutoring session. This was intimate. This was romantic. I sat in my car, torn between disbelief and confusion. Jason was 21, an adult free to make his own choices. But why lie about it? Why keep it hidden? And who was this woman who seemed so invested in him? That night, I kept my discovery to myself, but it gnawed at me. Every time Jason excused himself with vague explanations, I saw that woman's face in my mind. Curiosity turned into quiet investigation. I didn't mean to become involved, but the truth pulled me in deeper with every passing day. A week later, the answer came in a way that left me shaken. I was folding laundry in the living room when the doorbell rang. I opened the door to find the very same woman from the cafe standing there, her expression tense. "Is Jason here?" she asked, her voice clipped. My chest tightened. "He's not home right now. Can I help you?" She hesitated, then shook her head. "No, never mind." She turned to leave, but something about her urgency made me call after her. "Wait. How do you know Jason?" She froze, then turned back with a strange look. "I should be asking you the same thing." The next 10 minutes unraveled everything I thought I knew. Her name was Michelle, and she wasn't just some woman Jason had been secretly dating. She was married. Married to a man who often traveled for work, leaving her alone. And Jason, it seemed, had slipped into that empty space in her life. The weight of it crushed me. Infidelity wasn't just an abstract word anymore, it was sitting on my doorstep, tied directly to my family. Jason wasn't only living a double life, he was entangled in someone else's, risking everything for a relationship built on secrecy and lies. I didn't know what to do. Do I tell David? Do I confront Jason? Do I let it play out, hoping it ends on its own? I spent sleepless nights turning it over in my mind. Jason was still so young, but his choices were dangerous, reckless, and could ruin more than just his own life. Eventually, I couldn't keep it to myself anymore. One evening, when Jason was out again, I told David everything. At first, he refused to believe me. Jason wouldn't do that, he insisted. But when I described Michelle, when I recounted seeing them together, the denial in his eyes faltered. We agreed to confront him, not with anger, but with concern. We wanted to understand why he was doing this, what he thought he was gaining, and whether he realized the damage he could cause. That confrontation became the moment when Jason's double life exploded into the open, revealing truths that shocked us all and left scars that would take years to heal.